Hey, what's up guys, it's Ronaldo here. So this video is going to focus on the clear campaign by Media24 to attack, belittle, insult, and just try and get AfriForum to be portrayed in a negative light. I think it's reached that point of absurdity where if you just look at the sheer amount of articles that come out of Media24 in which they try and discredit AfriForum, Kali Kriel, Adams van Sail, it has actually reached that point of absurdity. It truly has. There is no doubt that somebody is funding this and they are trying to discredit them at every turn. But the irony, of course, is that AfriForum has got one of the most credible profiles in this country, and many people defend AfriForum every opportunity they get, versus Media24 that arguably has got one of the worst reputations in South Africa, especially if you look at their journalists and their editors. If we use Adrian Basson, need I say more? If you look at Peter de Tooy, need I say more? Carl Cohen. I've got one question for Carl. Can you please share the affidavit that your former wife wrote about you? We want to see something. Please share that. You've got quite a lot to say about Kali Kriel and AfriForum and Adams van Sail, me and Colonel Chris Wyatt and all these people. Share that affidavit that your ex-wife wrote about you. I want to, share it. Considering that you like to go and find the nitty-gritties on other people and organizations, why don't you make that public and let's all have a look at what you allegedly do in your free time. But with that being said, they came out with another expose on AfriForum, and it is stats after stats. And the more they try and discredit AfriForum, the more they are actively just sending people over to become members, because this agenda is so clear that it's actually sickening. Since February 2025, I can easily guess that the amount of articles that's been written by Media24 on AfriForum is easily over 100 articles, all of them negative. And the question you have to ask yourself is, why? Why is Media24 so obsessed with AfriForum and trying to write negatively about them? Well, the answer is relatively easy. Media24 makes money when they write shit and talk shit about Afrikaners and about white people in this country. There's no way that you can look at Media24 and go, is this really the most important people to talk about right now? When we live in a country that is one of the most corrupt countries in the world, where we have just seen that the actual police service and the judiciary has been captured, is this really what you want to spend your resources on? The NPO that since inception has had clean audits every single year. Clean audits, external audits done by them. Every single time they've got clean audits. And you have now dedicated so much time into writing about them. And I'll share this with you just now, the latest hit piece by Media24. And at some point, somebody at Media24 has to go, is this really worth it? Maybe Naspers need to step in and ask them, the people at Media24, why are you so obsessed? But I think I already know the answer. I think, in my humble opinion, that Naspers is behind it. Naspers profits off of the fact when something negative is being said about AfriForum. Now, before I show you this article, please be sure to subscribe. It's absolutely free. It won't cost you anything, as well as smashing the like button and sharing this video far and wide. Let's have a look. Now, before I show you the actual expose that they released today, just have a look at this quick, right? So if you type in AfriForum in News 20, and this is just News 24, ladies and gentlemen. If you type this in, every article that you see here is a negative article about AfriForum. And this is now, eventually we've gone into 2025. And this is arranged by date, just so you know. Still 2025, 2025, 2025. I'll let you know when we eventually get to 2024. So this is over the last year and a bit. All of these about AfriForum. There we go. Eventually, the 8th of Jan over there. So look at all these amount of articles right here. all negatively talking about AfriForum. And this is just News 24, right here. Now, the article in question is Inside AfriForum's Money Machine, how a lobby group splurges on salaries and marketing. And then I'm not even going to waste my time to read this to you. If you want to read this, good luck. It's an absolute waste of time. I'll focus on the summary. Afrikaner nationalist group, no evidence, but a bold claim. AfriForum has earned 1.6 billion from donors and members between 2019 and 2024. So what? These people know that they are contributing towards AfriForum. Why are you stating the obvious? Expenditure on salaries and marketing outweighs spending on project delivery by far. Financial reports obtained by News 24 show. Okay? Should we be upset? I mean, of course they have to market, because the amount of negative articles published by you, they should market to tell people the truth. And of course, people need to be paid. I'll get to like your salaries just now. New memberships have fallen off a cliff since 2024. Only 4,000 new members have joined in 2026. Quick question. How many new subscribers have you gained, News 24? I would love to see that number. I'm pretty sure that it's in the negative if I have to go off of how much money you cost Naspers every single day. But we'll get to that. So, and then they have to end it. For secure anonymous communication with News 24 investigations team, click here. So they're actually asking you to skinner. They're asking you for information. But look at this quick, right? Look at how much resources have been allocated to this article, giving you a breakdown of the expenditure from 2019 to 2024. They even give you a breakdown of AfriForum directors. And if you click on one of them, it gives you the inside scoop on these people. You see, it's like, so if you click there, it gives you the information. Look how long it is. Look at this. So the big thing here is Kali Kriel, the CEO. We don't know how much he earns a year, right? Like that's the big gotcha over here. And then they go on and they show the memberships. I mean, really? In a country with 75 murders a day, with so much corruption, with so much maladministration going on, you choose to target the NPO that is most loved in this country and has got the most amount of members and has got clean audits since they started. And of course, Truth First, non-profit organization. I wonder who's behind this. I'm not going to even allocate resources to this. I think if you click on this, which you can't, by the way, but this, I'm sure, is funded by Media 24. I'm sure that Truth First is funded by Naspers. And then let's just look, 494 comments, right? What is your motivation, News 24, in producing this article? Let's just have a quick squiz. AfriForum is a great organization. That is about 380,000 Rand per employee per year. Eskom workers earn more than that. What are you trying to do, News 24? Why does that worry you? You see, why doesn't News 24 look at Zuma Foundation and all the other foundations by the political elite? The overwhelming majority of these comments are like, why are you guys so concerned over what AfriForum is doing? And oh, look, Carl Cohen. Tell us, Carl, what does that affidavit say that your wife or ex-wife wrote on you? We want to see something. But here's the best part. When you scroll to the bottom, right, of this very, very long article, it says next on News 24, and it's the same article. Okay, and you scroll to the bottom. Let's have a look at what goes on here, right? Let's go to the bottom quick. Come on. Oh, guess what? It pops it up again. Like, this is the insanity of News 24 at the moment. Like, Adrian Basson, how does this guy still work at News 24? How is he still the CEO of News 24? There we go. You click on it again. It's absolutely absurd. So it's crystal clear that Media 24 and News 24 has this obsession with AfriForum. And the reason for that is because AfriForum has caught them in so many lies, and they've had to apologize so many times to AfriForum. So instead of a normal news organization going, hey guys, we got it wrong, we apologize. Now it's that like, I can't believe that I had to apologize to you. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dig deeper and hopefully I'll find something. And the only thing that they actually found is that AfriForum gets clean audits. AfriForum spends a lot of money on marketing and salaries, which is the case for any big company or NPO in the world. The question I've got a couple of questions that I would like to ask News 24, Media 24, Naspers, right? How is it that Media 24 that cost Naspers 850,000 Rand every single day, how is it possible that this news agency remains open? How? I mean, I think that's a legitimate question. If any company with an umbrella corporation cost the mother company 850,000 Rand a day, they would have shut that down long ago. Because it's over 300 million Rand a year that Media 24 cost Naspers to stay open. And the only answer that I can think of is because it's not really about the money that they're making. It's the influence that they have and the power that they have to influence thinking in this country. So the fact that Media 24 costs Naspers over 300 million Rand a year, 850,000 Rand a day, is because they don't care if it's profitable or not. It's all about the influence and the control that they have over the narrative. That's my opinion. I would like to know from Naspers, why would you keep a company open where every single day where they open their doors and in the afternoon they close it, they've cost you 850,000 Rand, almost R1,000,000 a day, and you decide to keep those doors open. Why? The second question I have is that you are very quick to look at their financials, but why did you stop reporting on your financials, Media 24? The last time that you've made your financials public was in 2021. Why? I'm assuming the reason for that is because if people see how much readership you actually have and how much money you generate, you are just going to embarrass yourselves because people think that you have this influence and all this control. But if we find out how many people actually read and contribute towards your company, we'll find out that you're not as important as what you proclaim to be. But hey, why haven't you reported on your financials since 2021? Why haven't you made it public? Thirdly, I would like to know this 8 million Rand that you paid towards the ANC. Why? Why did you give that contribution? You know, it's weird how Media 24 should know better than anybody how corrupt the ANC is, and yet you contribute 8 million Rand towards the elections, towards the ANC's campaign for the elections. Please explain that to us. And have you contributed equally to the DA, the Freedom Front Plus, other political parties? And if not, why not? Why did you contribute 8 million Rand? I mean, don't you think that's a conflict of interest for a media company to contribute towards a political party in this country, especially one that you know that is corrupt? Is that because you want to benefit in some way? And then lastly, I would love to know, Adrian Basson, how much do you earn a year? Considering that you are so worried about how much Kali Kriel earns as the CEO of AfriForum, and to be fair, if it had to come out that Kali Kriel earns 5 million Rand a year, I would say it's not enough. To deal with all the cuck that he deals with, I would say it's not enough. I don't actually think that there is an amount that I would go, it's not worth it. Because if you look at the great work that AfriForum is doing, not only for Afrikaners, not only for white English South Africans, but for all South Africans with their neighborhood watches that contribute towards the safety of all South Africans in the areas that they function in. If you look at them taking people to court when the NPA doesn't want to take people to court, I think that is priceless. So I think the money that Kali Kriel earns, regardless of how much it is worth it, considering the literal amount of shit that he has to deal with every single day. But why don't you tell us, Adrian Basson, how much you earn to criticize everybody every single day when in your own capacity you actually contribute nothing to society? Please tell us how much you earn. We'd love to know that. And you see, ultimately, that is the issue here. That News 24 and Media 24 wants to hold AfriForum to this very high standard when they don't hold themselves to that standard. And then they would love to let you know all the things that are wrong with AfriForum without actually talking about themselves and what they have done and what they have failed with regards to giving you actual news that is balanced and fair. Because let's be real, do you think that Adrian Basson, Pieter de Tooy, Carl Cohen, and other journalists at News 24 and at Media 24 actually writes balanced articles when it comes to AfriForum? I think it's very clear that they don't. And the fact that they don't tells you that that is a problem, because media in South Africa is supposed to be neutral. And it's very, very clear that Adrian and Pieter de Tooy and all of the woke leftist brigade over at News 24 actually hates and despises AfriForum. But in the same breath, they've got nothing negative to say about people on the woke left or the organizations that actually steal from the poorest of the poor. The article that I just showed you, is that really worth reporting on when we have so many NPOs and NGOs that steal from the poorest of the poor, but they don't write articles about them? But once you've seen all the articles that I've shown you of how much they've written negatively about AfriForum, it's very clear to see that there's an agenda here. And the ultimate question that you have to ask yourself is, why? Why is News 24, Media 24, and Naspers so obsessed with AfriForum? And that's pretty much all I got to say. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please be sure to smash that like button. Share this video far and wide. Don't forget to subscribe. It's absolutely free. It won't cost you anything. However, if you'd like to financially contribute to this channel, you can do so by clicking on the $ below and choosing an amount. Or you can become a member to this channel by clicking the join button below, and it'll be greatly appreciated. And that's all I got to say, everybody. Till later. Cheers and peace out.
You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say, I wear my massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say, I wear my massacre. I wear my massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say, I wear my massacre. I wear my massacre.